Right, well this board is now done in terms of rebuilding it, but we haven't yet tested it, so there may be other faults that we need to fix. So let's just recap what we've done. So we've removed the battery, we've cleaned up all this corrosion area, back down to bare copper, polished that all up, we've neutralised it, we've put all new components in this section, we've put new turn pin sockets on for the ICs, that's for all the socketed ICs, we've put new headers on, all the way around. All new. What else have we done? 2 new 5101 RAMs, 2 new PIAs. We've reused the 6800, I don't have any of those in stock at the minute. 2 new 2732 ROMs. So originally it took 4 of the masked ROMs, but we've converted the board to take 2 32Ks. So we've put those on. I've had to reuse a 6810 from another board as I'm out of stock of those. And that's pretty much everything on here. Oh, we need to do final cleanup. I'm not actually cleaned the flux yet. It's not terrible, but this focus, come on. I like to clean them up properly anyway before I finish the job. Right, that is now all clean and all just drying now. Right, well the transformer brick's back on the bench again, and the reason is this fuse holder here that I replaced on the 20 amp, that's absolutely perfect, but some of the other fuse holders have got problems. If we measure here and here, we've actually got, say, 40 to 50 ohms, so even though these contacts are nice and tight, and I have cleaned them up, and the fuses are pretty shiny, there's still some high resistance between basically that metal surface and that metal surface. So I think the best course of action is just to replace all the fuse clips, make sure they're all reliable. I don't want to be having intermittent power issues for the sake of a few fuse clips. So I'm just going to go ahead and replace the rest of those. There we go, we've got all new fuse clips and brand new fuses as well. Apart from this 3/4 slow blow, as I don't have any of those in stock, so I've had to recycle that one temporarily. That board is now pretty much 100% replaced. Well, the varistor hasn't been replaced, and the test points haven't been replaced, but yeah, everything else has. Another thing I've noticed from the wiring diagram is that this game probably came from Europe, as we've got this 220 here, sold a heavy yellow wire to lug 12, and we've got yellow on 12, so that's been wired for 220 volts. Now when I've measured the power socket in here, I've had close to 235 volts, so we definitely want to be more on the 240 volt side, as otherwise we'll be getting higher than normal secondary voltage out of this. So all we need to do for 240 is move the yellow to 7, which is down at the bottom, down there. So we'll go ahead and do that. Right, power brick's back in the cab, all wired up again, so we're ready for our second wave of testing, and hopefully we've got solenoid voltages this time. Right, and things have progressed nicely with this CPU board. Let's fire up the power. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fantastic. So, well, we're not getting a 7th flash because we haven't faked the 43 volt input. But yeah, 6 flashes, that's good enough for me to think it's going to work in the machine now. Or I could fake the flash. Yeah, I'm actually really glad this is finally working. I've done a hell of a lot of work on this, as you've probably seen already. And yeah, we're ready for testing in the machine. Well, we need to do some other things in the machine first, but we're nearly ready for testing in the machine. Right, so I've gone through and checked all the test points on the power driver board, and we've got 5 volt, the 12 volt, and the 43, and the 190 for the displays. They're all present and looking good. So we've now also connected up the CPU board. All these connectors, every one of them has been fully repinned, so we've all got brand new pins. The connectors on the boards have got new pins. So we're ready now to try and see if this board will power up in the cab. Right, we've got the boot up LED flashing away. There we go, that was a full 7 flash. Game's booted, we've got 5.1 volts on the meter. Time to connect up some displays and see what happens. Right, powering up this playtest. Hey, that's not bad. Middle display's got something a bit funny going on. We've got 2 zeros on all displays apart from the bottom right, so it's not perfect. That's oh, that middle display is looking well dodgy. Probably gonna have to repin all the connectors and the headers on those displays. Well, I was just having a quick look at the back of the playfield again, and I've got a hell of a lot of work to do. Look how many wires have been cut, like pretty much everything really, apart from the GI for some reason. I mean, this is insane here. Let's look at the drop target bank. There's a hell of a lot of wires going into that because it's got the 4 reset coils. Sorry, 4 knockdown coils plus the reset coil plus all the switches. And someone's cut all the wires off, and there's a plug here. So what the hell were they trying to do? Because they could have literally just unplugged that and not had to cut anything. So I have no idea what they were doing. It's just like everything's cut. There's targets hanging out. Oh, there's a lot of work. Right, so we're looking at the stern soundboard now. The socket's a bit crusty, so we'll replace that, and also the chip that came out of it needs the legs cleaning up. Probably do some recapping, replace these capacitors as they're 30 odd years old. And these connectors here are a bit corroded, so we'll replace these pin headers. I think these ones, I've checked these before, these ones at the back are clean, so we'll just give them a little reflow to make sure they're making good contact, and fingers crossed it might work. We'll give it a try. Okay, so we're going to replace all the capacitors. Now as you'll see, they're all axial capacitors on here. And all the decent makes don't tend to make those anymore. They're all radial caps these days. I use Panasonic for everything, as they've been 100% reliable for me. I've never had any bad ones yet, and I've used hundreds now. Anyway, so that's a radial cap. That's an axial cap. Obviously, it's not going to fit. So what we do is we basically form the leads like so. So we can basically drop it in that way. And we've put a little bit of heat shrink tubing over the lead so that it doesn't short out on anything. There you go, there's 4 10UF caps that I've made up to replace all these 4 grey ones here. Right, so we have replaced all the connectors. I ended up doing this data one as well in the end, I thought might as well. All the capacitors have been replaced. All brand new Panasonic. And there was a time a few years ago when you could get away without changing the capacitors, but they're 34 years old, 35 years old now. There's absolutely no way they're still within spec. And this is a soundboard, so these capacitors are used for timing, for the time chip, and for the amplification, filtering, various things that are going to affect the sound quality if they're not good. So it's well worth replacing all these on the soundboard. I forgot, we've also put a turn pin socket here for this chip, and we've cleaned the legs on the chip as well. Right, these data ribbons are absolutely filthy, so for no good reason other than the fact it was annoying me, I've started cleaning it up with some isopropyl alcohol and a nylon brush, and you can see the difference between the one I haven't cleaned and the one I have. It makes it look like new almost. Right, this is the lamp driver board. Funny enough, it's a Bally rather than the Stern. That came with the Stern Galaxy machine. This section looks not too bad, but when you get to the ICs, oh dear, heavily corroded. They're going to all need replacing. Just show you. Well, what's happened there? It's like water might have run down it or something. Are they corroded as well? Yeah, those resistors are. So it's like something's run all the way down that board. Well, what we can do, potentially use this. I've got a Stern LDA 100. If you actually look, this one's not too bad. Do some new pin headers, so we can do that easily enough. And these all want straightening out, a little bit mangled up there, but the IC's looking in good condition. The rest of the board looks in good condition. Let me just zoom out. So they're quite different looking. That's the layout of the Stern board. It's a lot more compact, and the Bally one's actually bigger. I'll put them the same way up. So yeah, you'll notice that the transistors are all in different places on this. This one's bigger, more spaced out. Interesting that they did that. Right, so we're going with the stern board. I've put all new pin headers on already. I've straightened out all the transistors. And it's just had a clean with isopropyl alcohol, so we're just waiting for that to dry now, and then we can go and try it in the cab. Okay, so the soundboard is now in, and again all the pins have been, well, all the connectors have been repinned, all the header pins have been replaced. I've also managed to fit all the missing cable clips so that the wires are now out of the way. It's a little tidier. Just double check our connections and then we'll fire it up and see if the sounds work. Oh, also I've just swapped this display. This is one that was just flickering a 0, where it should have been showing the credit and ball, I believe, on that one. So I've just swapped that. We'll try that one. That's an untested one from my spares box, so I don't know if it works, but we'll give it a go. Right, let's fire it up and see what happens. Oh, sound. Well, that's good. Oh. Ah, nice. Sound's definitely working. The middle display is working better now. But we've got a problem with the bottom right one. So let's try another untested display so we can get that one to work as well. Right, I've just swapped out the bottom right display with another untested one, and that one works as well, so that's fantastic. That's looking not too bad. Right, lamp driver board's in now, so all the boards are now complete and in. I was hoping I was going to test the feature lamps on the back of the board, but I think it's these grey wires which go here, which means that, oh, it's a bloody chopped wire there. Why have they done that? Well, I'll have to patch that up and put, yeah, there's a pin in there. I'll have to put a new pin on and get the old one out. Anyway, right, yeah, so I think this is the feature lamps for the backboard, and I think it needs to connect to one of the sockets. There we got here. There we go. Yeah, it seems like it's as part of the loom for the Playfield, so we need to do this Playfield first before we can try that out. Oh, I'm not looking forward to doing the Playfield.